Discovered 29,000 affair texts hidden on my wife's phone, exposed her lies to everyone, and took back full control of my life and happiness. I found 29,000 messages on my wife's phone, which laid bare her deceptions and allowed me to regain command of my own life. I'm 38, and I've been with my wife, who is 28, for 9 years. We've been married for the past 3. I adored her more than anything, and we had what I thought was a wonderful relationship. She was my closest friend and companion. Just last week, I noticed a suspicious text on her phone, which led me to uncover a conversation with a staggering 29,000 messages. It turns out she's been involved in an affair off and on with a coworker for almost 2 years. 2 years. I saw incredibly damaging messages and images, and I've been completely devastated. She was telling him she loved him and that they shared a deep bond. I feel so isolated and have no one to confide in. She's been staying with her parents since I asked her to leave the house we co-own. We had one discussion that lasted about an hour, and she expressed a desire to salvage our relationship. She wants to begin marriage counseling and claims she has severed all ties with the other man. She says she's willing to install tracking apps on her phone and so on, but I refuse to act as a jailer for someone I should be able to trust. She has offered extensive apologies, but how can I believe anything she says? I told her I need space and that I'm unsure if I possess the strength to even attempt reconciliation. She informed me she is resigning from her job to demonstrate her sincerity. It's a highly respected and sought-after position. I managed to discover the other man is married with a child, and I contacted his wife today. She had no idea, and we shared a tearful conversation over the phone. It actually felt good to speak with someone, even though I felt terrible delivering such news to her. I'm at a loss for what to do. We don't have children, but we own a fantastic house that would be challenging to afford alone. An update. She came over last night to talk. Apparently, our marriage wasn't as good as I perceived, as she showed me a diary she's maintained for years. It was filled with instances of issues we had that I simply ignored. I was somewhat stunned, as I hadn't realized how extensive the diary was. It was almost as if I had intentionally forgotten the difficult times. She had been seeing a therapist for certain issues. I was always aware of that, and she was briefly suicidal. I did not know that. She presented me with a timeline, backed by data, indicating the affair was intermittent over almost 2 years. They were only actively involved for about a third of that time. This doesn't excuse anything. In fact, it almost makes me feel worse. She respects our separation but wants to avoid divorce. When I brought it up after our conversation, she did say she would grant me an uncontested divorce if that's what it would take to start fresh. For your information, we've split everything 50-50, so it wouldn't be overly complicated. The house is the only remaining issue, and we made it absolutely perfect, as it was a new construction for us. She isn't going to fully resign, but will step down from her position and transfer to a new department to completely avoid the other person. However, this would entail a $30,000 pay cut. We perform the same job and earn nearly identical salaries, but she has a much higher earning potential than I do. I find myself thinking there's no way I can take her back. Then I think I absolutely should try. Then I change my mind again and again. I have no idea what to do. I've scheduled an individual therapy session. I've never done anything like that, but I'm going alone to try and gain clarity. She's been staying at her parents', but that obviously won't be permanent. Let's see how the community responds. First up, things I wish I had done. Initiate no contact for as long as possible, at least a few weeks. Prioritize self-care. Seek a counselor as soon as you can. You need time to process the trauma. Good move, asking her to leave. It was right to contact the other betrayed spouse. She deserved to know the truth. Consult a lawyer, even if you decide to stay, and try to work through it. Get some advice. Tell her you want the complete story all at once, no trickle-truthing, which is like picking at a massive wound. She just detonated a bomb in your life, so you require time to process everything. I'm sorry you're both experiencing this, but you will overcome it. Someone else adds, a 2-year affair where she expressed love to him and she only admitted it after being caught. It's over. Original poster. She doesn't love you. Marriage to you offers her security. The other man is married with a child and isn't truly available to her, but she has been in love with him for 2 years. If you were single or divorced, do you think she'd be trying to salvage your marriage? You need to honestly ask yourself that. You started your relationship when she was about 19, and you were about 29. That's a significant age difference, and it can create many complications. It's a much larger issue than if a 38-year-old began a relationship with a 28-year-old, because in the latter case, both individuals have typically been independent adults for several years and have usually been in serious relationships with others before. This isn't the case when the younger party is only around 19. Another community member offers this perspective. There's something crucial every married cheating victim needs to understand. Getting a divorce and deciding whether to grant her a second chance are not the same thing and not the same decision. Regardless of whether you wish to never see her again or attempt to mend your relationship, you should divorce her. You need to safeguard yourself, and you also need to ensure she's dedicated to you and the relationship, not merely trying to avoid the repercussions of losing her legal status as your wife. If she genuinely wants to fix things, she will be willing to grant you an easy and quick divorce. You yourself believed she was your soulmate and that things were wonderful. She cheated on you for the majority of your marriage without your knowledge. You cannot trust that she isn't lying and protecting herself. One more person adds, "First off, I am so sorry this has happened to you. Deep down, you know what to do." She was cheating on you for over 2 years. That is not someone who is remorseful for cheating on you, but rather someone who is sorry for getting caught. Had you not discovered it when you did, it would still be ongoing. Contact divorce lawyers, and please get tested to ensure she didn't transmit anything to you due to her actions. Also, please make sure she doesn't quit her job. It will complicate divorce proceedings significantly. I hope you find peace. Discovering a 29,000 text thread is like unearthing the entire Harry Potter series in text message form, except instead of enchantment, it's filled with falsehoods and disloyalty. And let's discuss her resignation plan. Quitting her job to sidestep temptation? Oh, please. As for her diary, spare me the tears. Congratulations, you've just stumbled upon the director's cut of your own marriage, complete with deleted scenes and bonus material. She might be offering a straightforward divorce now, but remember, just because the dishes appear clean doesn't mean they aren't coated in betrayal residue. You deserve more than a partner who treats your trust like a game of Jenga, pulling out one block at a time until everything collapses. So, approach those individual therapy sessions like doses of truth serum and seek your clarity. And remember, when life gives you lemons, you don't make lemonade. You squeeze those lemons into the eyes of anyone who attempts to deceive you again. What do you think of this? Next up, the original poster's doorbell camera had enough of his cheating girlfriend's fabrications and excuses. Our breakup was a cover for an affair that destroyed 2 lives. We'd been together for 8 years, moved to a new state, seemed like the ideal couple, planning to marry and so forth. Then she, 30 female, broke up with me, 34 male, a month ago. At the time, she lied about the reason, offering all the typical excuses about how I wasn't right for her or good enough. I believed it and was prepared to simply move on. I returned to collect my belongings and finalize things, but unexpectedly, a mutual friend, Kathy, reached out saying we needed to talk. As it turns out, Kathy had been completely unaware of everything after her husband left her. Kathy knew me through social media and was aware that I was no longer with my ex. My breakup occurred on the same day her husband left her. We began to piece together the true story of the past month. What really transpired? Kathy and her husband got married. My ex and I were in the wedding party. My ex and her new husband started getting close, messaging and so on. They met for clandestine dinners, and that's when they each broke up with us. They had been married for 2 weeks and concealed this mutual breakup from us. What's worse, she was diagnosed with cancer right between the wedding and the breakup. You couldn't invent this stuff. It's even worse because while they had a wedding, they never signed legal documents, so there's no legal tie for her at this point. I had returned to live with family for a few weeks, and unbeknownst to me, they were coming over to our house and doing who knows what. She covered the doorbell camera, but my Echo still picked up him using voice commands. All the circumstantial evidence indicates they were having an affair. Now, they don't know we know. We want to confront them. I don't know what I want from the conversation, but I have so many questions. I want retribution. I want to at least calmly ask her to come clean, and then I'm leaving for good. We are selling the house anyway. I want to publicly share my experience and humiliate her. I want to caution all of her future relationships that this will happen to them too. My biggest complaint is how she attempted to rationalize this for herself using a technicality. If she breaks up with me before they start being intimate, it's not cheating. I disagree. It began when you first saw him at his wedding, and you tried to make me feel like the guilty party. Shame on you. You destroyed my life. You ruined 2 people's lives, one of whom has cancer and needed her husband's support. Go away. I'll never trust her again. Thanks. Update. Firstly, thank you to everyone who supported me through my last post. Looking back, I was in the darkest period of my life, and many people reached out to prevent me from self-destructing with thoughts of revenge. My goodness, I realize many of us are in the same emotional state, but for future readers and posters, please be aware that there is some poor advice on this sub. It's difficult to help when we're all in a difficult spot together. A confrontation. Kathy, the wife of the affair partner, and I, male 34, decided to confront the 2 affair partners separately but simultaneously when they returned from their honeymoon. Before then, I moved all my belongings out of our house and into an apartment before relocating to my parents' home. Furniture and items I couldn't take were given to our neighbor, whom my ex despised. I got all of this done just before my ex returned, and I could simply enjoy confrontation day from the comfort of my hotel. When the time came, Kathy initiated the event. She needed to confront her ex-husband in person and arrange how she would return after moving out to get her cancer treatments and help with packing. It sounded like it was somewhat amicable. At the same time, I simply sent my ex two texts. Utilities are shutting off in a few days. The warning was only for my ex's cat, whom I loved, and I knew Kathy's husband was planning to move in when I moved out, and I have zero trust, and I know what you did and what you are. Don't talk to me again. Then I waited for the typing bubble. When she started replying, I blocked her everywhere. That night, I finally got more than 4 hours of sleep. The next day, my ex tried to reach out through our doorbell camera. Fortunately, she waited so long dramatically that when she spoke, all she managed to say was "I don't lie" before the recording reached its maximum length. Appropriate emotional aftermath. Since creating some distance between myself and my ex, I've been feeling better day by day. I've been sleeping better, even though every night involves a nightmare about her. We were together for 8 years, so I experienced profound sorrow about the life I believed we had and the life I thought we would have. This was so unlike her, and I keep searching for mistakes I made, although I know she made this choice. Kathy has since moved to her parents' house. I check in with her occasionally because she's endured far more than I ever did during this situation. Definitely a lot more grief with more anger toward my ex than her husband. I don't blame her. She might not feel it, but I think she's improving since also gaining distance. Relationship postmortem. I've engaged in sharing my experiences with friends and processing the trauma, and through this, I found tremendous support, for which I'm grateful, as well as discoveries about who I thought my ex was through mutual friends and her past exes. I've since found many red flags I overlooked. What she did to me, what she did to her previous ex. I was somewhat aware of the circumstances, but there were some misleading elements to it, although I definitely ignored her secrecy about me during our early dating. Apparently, during our 8 years together, she still occasionally contacted her ex, pleading for him back and stalking him. In addition, she would construct narratives to make her falling outs with friends and her exes appear more favorable. There were many other ignored red flags, like transactional relationships and severe guilt tripping. Trickle post-confrontation news/words from mutuals. My ex has already crafted her narrative. She didn't cheat. She moved on quickly. Huh. The husband broke up before they got married legally. Yes, socially, no. There are pictures of his wedding. I didn't do anything for the relationship for 8 years, so I deserved it. This is an entirely separate trauma post. I've already informed the people I care about knowing, but it seems cracks are already forming on her end. People are asking questions about her new relationship at work. My ex and her significant other are also coworkers, so I'm sure they all know Kathy's husband got married months ago. I'm ready to move on in time. I have numerous plans for my future, and honestly, this could be the best thing that ever happened to me. I'll concur with this for a long time, but I will be in a much better place than my ex in the end. I'm keeping busy. My career is promising, and I had all the emotional stability of our relationship. I don't know if I'll update again, but thank you all for the support. I must commend you. Original poster. You handled the aftermath like a seasoned professional. Moving out, severing contact, and delivering that "I know what you did and I'm done" text message treatment, that's truly masterful closure right there. And the fact that she was cut off mid-denial by her doorbell camera? Pure classic. But let's discuss her post-breakup narrative. She moved on quickly. Yes, like a speeding bullet straight into someone else's wedding vows. And he broke up before they got married? Certainly, if broke up means conspired to break up two unsuspecting individuals while standing at the altar. And don't even get me started on the whole "I didn't do anything for the relationship for 8 years, so I deserved it" nonsense. That's like claiming someone deserved to be hit by a meteor because they forgot to water their plants once. As for your ex's attempts to save face, well, let's just say her web of deceit is starting to unravel faster than a sweater in a room full of playful kittens. People are beginning to ask questions, and soon enough, her house of cards will come crashing down around her. Meanwhile, you'll be enjoying drinks on the deck of the SS New Beginnings, watching the sunset on a horizon filled with boundless possibilities. So, here's to leaving the drama behind and stepping into a future filled with nothing but clear skies and smooth sailing. And if your ex ever tries to slither back into your life, just remember, you're the captain of your own vessel, and you're charting a course for happiness, no matter what storms may arise. Cheers to fresh starts and brighter days ahead. What would you have done? Thank you for joining us today. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. See you next time.